Which solder is best for robotics electronics projects? Imagine building a robot from scratch and needing a solder that makes your connections strong and reliable. Choosing the right solder can make a big difference in your project's success. Let's explore what makes a good solder for robotics electronics. For most robotics projects, a rosin core solder with a tin-lead alloy is the top choice. The most common type is a 63% tin and 37% lead mixture, called a 6367 solder. This solder melts at about 183 degrees Celsius, which is low enough to prevent damage to delicate components. It flows smoothly and solidifies quickly, helping you avoid cold solder joints that can cause connection problems. The rosin core inside the solder acts as flux, cleaning oxidation from metal surfaces during soldering. This results in strong, clean electrical connections that last. While leaded solder is easier to work with, many projects now prefer lead-free options because of environmental and health concerns. Lead-free solder usually contains tin, silver, and copper, often called SAC 305. It melts at around 217 to 220 degrees Celsius, so it needs a soldering iron with good temperature control. Although it's a bit trickier to use, lead-free solder is safer and meets regulations like the restriction of hazardous substances. When choosing solder for robotics, the diameter of the wire matters too. A 0.8 mm wire is ideal because it lets you work precisely on small components without excess solder. Thinner wire gives you better control, especially when soldering tiny pins or circuit boards. For beginners or quick prototyping, a 6367 tin-lead solder is often the best. It's forgiving, flows well, and makes strong joints. For those concerned about health or working in a professional setting, lead-free solder is the way to go, but it requires a good soldering iron and steady hands. Always use a temperature-controlled soldering iron set around 340 degrees Celsius when working with leaded solder. This helps prevent overheating and damaging sensitive parts. Keep your soldering workspace well ventilated, especially when using leaded solder, to avoid inhaling fumes. In the end, the best solder for robotics projects is the rosin core 6367 tin-lead alloy for ease and reliability. If you need to follow environmental rules or want a safer option, go for lead-free solder with rosin flux. Just remember, good technique and proper equipment are key to making solid, long-lasting connections in your robotics builds.